Hi, I am Centimus Prime, and here I'll be showcasing the fourth component to my LEGO dynazenon MOC. This is my take on the Dyna Striker. And first and foremost, I'll be showing you the overall design and details. Starting off with the front. The front, it shows the front. I've used these Exoforce arms for the sort of like front gun barrels that Dyna Striker has. Up here you also have like the red fins that also stick out the sides. Here's how it looks from the side. And I did raise the wheels on the front up a bit to make it look, to make it look like it's like going at an angle forward. Here are like the little these like side sections, like a little bit of vent details and stuff. See the details of they're basically I did use like these nice gold wheels and these tires. I think the tires do look nice on this build. Now up here we do get a bit of red striping down the middle. Here's a couple of blue parts to represent like windshield, like a windshield or something. Back here we do get some sort of fin details with these side wings. And here it is from the back. Not a whole lot going on in the back. It's doing alright. As for features, well, first of all, that's how it looks from the bottom. Now, as for features, aside from, these can like adjust. The fins on the back can adjust a bit. But aside from that, it's really a car. It's basically a car. It rolls. Like all things with wheels should. I feel like as a car, it does successfully roll. And it rolls smoothly. I do like how smoothly it rolls. And for size comparisons, here it is next to a minifigure. So it's a pretty sizable car. Very nice. There he is next to the minifigure. Here it is next to Dyna Soldier. We have that. Dyna is also, here he is next to Dyna Diver. And it is next to Dyna Wing. And so that's how those components look together. And yes, I did make a stand for Dyna Wing and stuff. Pretty neat. And of course, here it is next to the Moderoid Dyna Striker. Now, I feel like I do want to point this out, but I'll point you out later. But you can see by looking at this, you might tell that these two look dramatically different. And I well, after building these, I do think that the Dyna Striker that I made, like out of the four Dynas that I built, the Dyna Striker is honestly the least accurate compared to the source material. That's because I feel like it does have a lot of the... Yeah, I feel like it has a lot of the details and a lot of the iconic features that Dyna Striker does have, but it's like done like a different way that it's like doesn't really look, that this doesn't really look like this, you know? Like this one is pretty like wide and like squat, whereas this one is quite thin and very long. And it's kind of weird. Not only that, but the wheels on the front are different than the wheels on the back. Whereas my MOC, it has all the same wheels. I tried to accommodate that by raising the front end up to make this sort of give the illusion that the back ones might be a little bit bigger. Kinda. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, so there's that. And now I'll be getting to the next portion. That being combining this Dyna Striker with Dyna Soldier. Dance. And that really needs a light. Yeah, a light that really helps. Anyways, so to combine these two, unfortunately, it does require a massive piece of parts forming. That's kind of sad. But the mass parts forming is this gray thing. I guess it could work as like an anti-aircraft gun thing. I don't know. This obviously was never a part of Dynazenon. It's just something I built to better combine these two together. So you're gonna need this component. So anyways, so to start with the combination, first things first is to split Dyna Striker in half. like so. Second thing, let's start with this side. Second thing is to not take the whole thing off, take this section off, but only this section. Leave the rest of this on. So take that section off. Next, what you can do is rotate this, and the tire's gonna like flex just a tad bit. So then that's gonna happen. Then you would fold the fingers inward while desperately trying to keep the ball joint straight. Alright, then parts forming, yes I know, but you take this section off, which is only connected by one single stud, and detaching it from this blue section over to this gray Technic hole. Blue. Okay, now that that's happened, now we can fold this tire out, and unlike the front tire, this one requires a lot of flexing. Like, you need to do like a good bit of flexing, like to turn this around, and it's gonna want to come apart a little bit. So it's real. So you might want to like take it off and then press it down. So flip it around and then press it back down. That came off. So there you have that. So that's pretty simple. Now the next thing is to do the same with the other half. Pretty simple. Like, rotate this around. Try not to remove the red fin part. Fold in the fingers. Move this forward. Move the wheel to the front. Then we have that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing and take this. Then we're going to connect. This pin and this stud to these two Technic holes. Like so. So connecting the Technic hole for the back, and then attaching it with the stud. Then we have that. Rotate this up and all that. You just rotate this around, and then connect the other arm the same way. Okay, got the stud, press it on, and then boom. So now we have that. Then we can like rotate these up, I guess. So now we have that ready. Let's do all the necessary prepping for Dyna Soldier. Just rip off his arms. More parts forming, I know. But it's a Lego build I've done. Anyways, rotate this up. So now, flip this guy around. gonna grab all this. So we're gonna grab all this, and what's gonna happen is that these studs, the ones here on the sides, are going to connect to these red anti-studs right here. The two over here, the two pairs over here, and the two pairs up here are going to connect to these studs right here. So it's gonna attach I want guys to get a good look at it. So like that. Just press that together. And then we have, and now we have the Dyna, Striker, and Soldier combined mode. And once you look at that, it actually looks pretty neat. It's honestly a little goofy. Yeah, just get a good look around. Here's how it looks from the back. It does now this gray section does kind of lock the jaw in place, so it doesn't really move around as much. It can be a little bit of a challenge to stand up. And it can look kind of weird. So, posability for this. Yeah, let's go into the posability. Starting off with the head, this gray block up here can slightly restrict the movement of the head, but if you're like, if you like keep like the bulge, like keep the parts clearance in mind, it's really not big of an issue. You can still do all the normal articulation and stuff. These massive shoulder things, they're on massive friction jointed ball joints. So you have all that. Obviously these things can swing around too. And then we're introduced to like this neat little ratchets, like elbow joints, where it can bend up to about that far. Whoops, stuff is starting to fall apart on me because it's Lego. But anyways, it can, well, it's also double jointed, so it can bend like that. And this section can also rotate 360. And it does look pretty neat. And to my surprise, the Dyna Soldier figure can actually stand up on its own 2 feet, even with these massive arms. You might want to do a little bit. Yeah, I do have to do a little bit of bouncing to get this thing to stand. But the fact that it can stand on its own 2 feet with not really much issue, it's just, I honestly think it's like really cool. And the reason why this kind of shocks me is because when designing this, I kind of put like a little stand on Dyna Soldier beforehand. I made like a little stand for Dyna Soldier. This is honestly like a simple stand with like some Technic parts and a Laval shield for base. This just plugs onto him from under there. And he basically just wobbles on there. And this could work for the Dyna Soldier and Wing Combine mode as well. But the fact that this doesn't even need it is, I'm honestly surprised. I really like it. Something else, while I was working on like the combined form for these components, is that originally I was trying to have these arms connect onto here. That's why I would like remove the Dyna Soldier arms. But then I went over and decided to like build a whole new like assembly for that. So these ended up not being used at all, which means that you could actually leave, if you're not big on parts for me, not as big on parts for me, you can leave these arms on. Could leave these arms on, and if you have it like set up in a certain way, have these arms positioned in a certain way. Let me just pause quick. If you have these arms positioned in a certain way, you can make it look like, you can give them like some sort of like Galaxy upgrade vibe where he could like, or you can have like these giant arm mounted like weaponry. And that honestly is a pretty good look for him. Now the Dyna Soldier and Striker combined was never actually able to do this, but because of how different my take on Dyna Striker is apparently I somehow made it so mine can actually do this, even though the actual one can't. But I say, hey, it's a pretty cool like alternative option, and I think it looks really good. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I do like the extra display. I do like the extra like play options. It is a toy after all. That's pretty done. And to be honest, out of the three separate combination modes, Dyna Soldier and Striker are honestly my favorite out of the three, because this one's like so cool. Now don't get me wrong, the Dyna Soldier and Wing combination does look pretty cool as well, but there was just something with the connection that I ended up with on my Dyna Wing MOC that made the connection like kind of frustrating. So should I try to separate this out? Probably should. So what I do is I pull this back. So, yes, we got. If you decide to leave the arms on, you really just attach it onto its back, onto that soldier's back. So that's interesting. And then we can go through the progress, go through the steps backwards. So we take these off. Obviously set this off to the side. And then do the steps to convert this back into a car. So straighten out the arms, fold back the wheel, move this back, rotate this, and straighten out the fingers. Add the car part back on. Lower this part, and then do the same on the other side. These do like to fall out. Straighten this out. Rotate the wheel back. Move that back. Rotate the wheel around. Straighten out the fingers. Lower that part. And put the car part back on. And then attach the two halves again. And straighten these out because it's only connected by one stud. Straighten everything out. Then we have the Dyna Striker back in its car mode. And yeah, now I can say I've done videos for all 4 of these separate components. Really nice. Now, next up, the more notable and bigger combination models, MOCs. And with that, I guess that'll be it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. And possibly even comment if you're, yeah, and possibly even comment. And yes, I will be posting again sooner or later.